welcome to this episode of That Bearded HR Guy. I'm That Bearded HR Guy. You know, most organizations think they have a talent problem. They say things like, we can't retain high performers. We don't have a strong leadership pipeline. Succession planning isn't working. But the truth is, it's usually not a talent problem at all. It's a connection problem. Because when you look under the surface, most organizations have already invested in the right things. They have performance reviews. They have learning platforms. They have succession planning tools. They have career development programs. On paper, it all exists, but in reality, none of it's truly connected. And that gap, that disconnect, that's where everything starts to break down. That's where high performers start to disengage. That's where employees begin to look outside the organization for growth. That's where leadership pipelines become reactive instead of proactive. Because here's the reality. Employees don't stay because a system exists. They stay because they can see a future inside it. And if they can't clearly see where they're going, they'll go somewhere else. That's why I focused on building the employee development ecosystem. Not another HR process, not another tool, but a connected experience that spans the entire employee lifecycle. From the moment someone joins your organization to the moment they're ready to step into leadership, it starts with onboarding that gives people direction, not just here's your job, but here's where you can go. Then it moves into ongoing conversations, real, consistent check-ins that create clarity around performance, expectations, and growth. Not once a year, but continuously. From there, performance becomes more than a rating. It becomes insight into strengths, insight into gaps, insight into potential. And those insights should lead directly into development. Targeted development plans, skill building, stretch opportunities, not generic training, but intentional growth aligned to where someone wants to go. Then comes one of the most critical pieces, career visibility. Because if employees can't see opportunities, they assume they don't exist. When you create transparency around career paths, skills, and next steps, you unlock internal mobility in a completely different way. And finally, all of this leads into something leaders have struggled with for years: real succession planning, not based on memory, not based on opinions, but based on data, conversations, and observed growth over time. And at the center of this is one simple idea. Data should drive conversations, and conversations should drive action. That's the shift. Because when everything is connected, leaders stop guessing and start developing. Employees stop wondering and start growing. And organizations stop reacting and start truly planning. You move from fragmented processes to a true talent ecosystem. And the impact? Stronger leadership pipelines, higher engagement, better retention, and a workforce that's actually prepared for what's next. So the question isn't, do we have the right tools? The question is, can our employees actually see themselves in them? Because if they can't, they'll find a place where they can. Thank you for watching this episode of That Bearded HR Guy. We'll see you next time.